James, are builders always the problem?
No, builders aren't always the problem. I've had this conversation a few times and it's a really interesting one to have. So particularly in the context of a design and construct contract, let's talk about the building team, right? So building isn't what building used to be 40, 50 years ago, or even 20 years ago. We've had the NCC update, we've had the BCA update, we've had Australian standards updated, we've had contracts updated, we've had insurance updated, we've had all these administrative components updated. So, 20, 30, 40 years ago, when you could have one builder who was on site, he understood how to build a house or a commercial building from the site set out through to installing the skirting boards and doing the painting. He understood how to do every trade. He understood the talk, the lingo. He understood how to sign a purchase order, how to do a bill of quantities takeoff. That's now not the case. Construction is now broken out into two very distinct branches. You have your administrative component and you have your construction component. And unfortunately, you can't be a master of two. You can only be a master of one. So the construction component is heavily managed by our site managers, our CAs, there's labourers and the subbies. They're the master of the construction, of the doing, all right? You've also got this administrative branch, which is your purchase orders, your subcontracts, your documentation management, your programming, your authorities liaising, and you can't have one individual running all of this. You have a team. So it's very hard to expect that this team of people are across all the NCC, the BCA, the plumbing standards, the authority regulations, your contract requirements, your council requirements, your United Energy, your Gemna, your Southeast Water. You can't have, it's very hard to have a team of 4 or 5 guys, experts in this field. They do rely very heavily on the wider project team, which is your consultants, your town planners, your traffic engineers, your subcontractors, your licensed trades. They're relying on all that correct information being fed back through to them. They can be that core managing the project so that they can manage the information, direct it in the right way, implement it in the right way. They also need support from our clients, from our superintendents, from our project managers, so that they have the correct authority, that they have the right information, they're put in contact with the right contacts so that they can pursue and close out any obstacles that come up through the course. Now, to be fair, that is a lot of work expected of a small team, 4 or 5 guys. So quite often they're very busy, and where we find this problem is the builder the problem, it's their communication. Yes, we can fault them for not being communicative enough, but sometimes they get so busy addressing all these other matters and making sure that the project's running, they forget to communicate these things. And that's why it's really important to have our annual meetings, our fortnightly and our PCG meetings, so that we can have that sit down and that everyone's present for that moment in time, discuss what's really going on in the project and come together to support each other. So no, the builder's not always the problem.